Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years. We're dedicated to delivering quality auto parts, expert customer service, fast and free shipping, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. So visit us at 1aauto.com, your trusted source for quality auto parts.
So in order to start this project, we're going to go ahead and loosen the wheel, the lug nuts here. We're going to use a breaker bar with a 19mm socket. So next we're going to go ahead and raise and support your vehicle. You can use a jack and jack stands. In this case here, we're using a lift to make it a little bit easier. We'll just go ahead and remove the lug nuts here, just by using that socket, because we've already loosened those. With the lug nuts removed, we can now go ahead and remove the wheel and tire. So this right here is your outer tie rod end, and we have the nut here to anchor this on. This is the castle nut, and normally you would have a cotter pin through here, but this did not have it in there, so it must have rotted or fallen out. So we're going to go ahead and remove this nut off of the outer tie rod end, and we're going to use a 13/16 wrench for this here. So in order to remove this outer tie rod end, this actually fits into a tapered hole. And what we can usually do in our driveway at home is if you use a hammer and you strike the front here, it normally causes this to pop out. So now that we have this out, you can see that this is a tapered base, and this fits tightly into the front of the steering knuckle. So when you tighten up the castle nut, it sucks it down inside and keeps it nice and tight. So we're gonna go ahead and replace the adjuster sleeve right here. So I'm gonna start by removing your outer tie rod end. Ideally, you wanna count the amount of threads that this comes out on. So your full rotation of this ball joint on your tie rod end. Okay, so we're going to use a 24mm, and want to go ahead and basically unthread this off of the inner tie rod end. There we go. Now, because we're just replacing the adjuster sleeve, you can leave this jam nut right here, and when you take the new adjuster sleeve, just thread it right on up to that jam nut. There we go. So this here is the old part. This here is the new part from 1A Auto. Now if you notice on the old part, we have the spot right here that has a flat section so you can put your wrench on there. Our part also has that. Now on the installation, it is important to know that each side is a different diameter. The larger is the inner tie rod end port, and the smaller one is for the outer tie rod. So you can only put it on one way. Obviously, if you have the smaller port, it just won't fit. So we're just gonna go ahead and thread this on. When this threads on, you're gonna notice that the wrench side is closer to the tie rod on the outer tie rod, but this here was closer to the inner. Doesn't matter, it's gonna work the same exact way. It's just to give you a anchoring point for your wrench. Okay, you wanna just crank that right up by hand up to that jam nut. Now that we have the adjuster sleeve installed, because we don't have to actually replace this outer tie rod end, we can go ahead and get this installed now. Now in this component, we did count 31 full rotations. So that means with the ball joint section facing down, full rotation, that is 1. We counted 31 of those there. So in case you were installing a new outer tie rod end, you would have that count. I believe that was a 31. We'll just tighten up that jam nut by hand a little bit, and then you're ready for your installation. Install your castle nut. You would tighten this up, line up the castle nut with the hole in the outer tie rod end there. Use your cotter pin, feed it through, and then you're going to want to bend that over using a pair of pliers. So your adjuster sleeve may come with jam nuts. If your factory equipment is just fine, there's no need to replace them. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten up these jam nuts. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the tire. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the lug nuts here. You want to get a few threads caught on all of these here. These lug nuts are a 19 millimeter. So we're just going to snug these, bottom the wheel out to the rotor. We're going to lower the vehicle down onto its own weight and then do a final torque. With the vehicle on the ground, we're going to do its final torque of the wheel, which is between 83 and 112 foot-pounds. We're going to do it in a star pattern. All right, just double check the first one. She's all set.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.